13 in the waiting room?
Yeah.
Oh, 12.
Okay.
Somebody's jumping on and off.
Hello, everyone. Be patient with me. I'm just letting people in from the waiting room.
Remember to mute yourself.
We'll just sit here and admire your fireplace.
There they are.
My faux fireplace.
Yo!
Oh, Bill's got a real one.
Yeah, make sure you guys are muted though.
Cheers.
Oh, look. Aw.
Is Smiley in the pavilion?
He's
Oh, yeah.
outside.
Yep, he's
Outside.
outside. Isn't that awesome?
Over here. We're ready, and I'm here
So
too.
we don't get,
You guys have beverages. Wow,
we're
I'm so
not.
jealous.
Not yet, but we're going to be.
Okay, you guys, I'll just get started on some housekeeping things. A lot of you are super familiar with Zoom by now. But in case you have forgotten or you're not, if you go to the bottom of your screen, you'll see what looks like an old-timey microphone. And you want to make sure that you are muted, which would look like the microphone with a big red cross across it. And then it's up to you if you want to be on video. Right next to that microphone is the video camera. So if you click on that and there's like a little upside down V, you can choose the background if you want to have a really cool background behind you, or you can choose to either be on video or not be on video. We are recording. So just to let you know, if you want to watch this again, or if you have neighbors that weren't able to attend, then you can always go on the portal calendar, and I have uploaded all the previous from 2000 meetings that we recorded there. And by Friday, it usually takes some time for me to crunch it down so it's not a huge file and put a title page on it. And I will have that done by Friday. So you can go onto the calendar, click onto the YouTube link, and it will be there. And so I just want to introduce myself. I'm Dawn Wood, the Oak Tree HOA manager, and with me from Nova is the Nova Vice President, Christina Peterson. And we also have the declarant board here, which is Jennifer Mahaffey and Karen Erickson.
all right.
And so with that, I'm going to share my screen so everyone can see the agenda. And turn it over to Jennifer.
All right, well, without further ado, if anyone else joins in, then we'll pop on. We'll start with the meeting. I'll call it officially to order at 4:04 p.m. The board packet, we have our minutes from our October 21st, 2020. I think Karen and I both have had a chance to review them. So I will make a motion to approve.
I second that motion.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Cool. And so just, it looks like we have a lot of familiar faces on the meeting, but just a reminder, all your meeting minutes are also on the portal. So if you ever want to go back and reference, they are there. And then I think Dawn is going to go ahead and do our treasurer's report this meeting. So I'll let you go ahead and read those fun numbers.
Yeah. And for the financial report, the December 2020 year-end Oak Tree financial reports were emailed to the board yesterday, January 19th, 2021. As of the end of December 2020, the current account balances are total operating account assets, $806,368.55. Checking account, $792,913.71. The delinquencies as of the end of December were 0. The Oak Tree year-end financial forecast for December and financials are posted to the Oak Tree portal under Documents, Annual Disclosures.
Great, thank you. And that just gets us rolling right into the next thing, which is our committee report. So first on deck, we have our ACC committee, and it looks like Cheryl is present, and she is going to go ahead and speak on behalf of that committee.
Just a couple announcements for the attendees. Newly published on the portal under the ACC Standardizations tab is an updated ACC Standardizations document, which also includes a new section called Front Yard Facts, Frequently Asked Questions. So there's a discussion in there about what you should and shouldn't do with your front yards. So please, take advantage of that. That has been posted, and I have checked that it's there. The other thing I'd like to point out is that Dawn has made a nice YouTube video that can aid new homeowners or any homeowners in filling out an ACC application. And that is at the portal training videos tab on the portal. So those are our big announcements for the ACC. We are seeing an uptick in the ACC requests coming in, reflecting new residents moving into the community, which we're so happy about. And of course, as we move into spring, we expect to see more ACC requests also. So your committee is standing by, and we'll help in any way we can. Of course, Dawn is our ultimate helper there. So any questions? That's it for us.
All right, great. Thanks, Cheryl. Then it looks like landscaping is next on deck. Let's see. Craig is here. So, floor.
Hello, everybody. I'm Craig Gable, the chair of the Landscape Committee. First, a solicitous comment. Our committee is made up of people that basically serve for 2 years, and this spring we'll have a couple of people that will roll off of the committee, including myself. And so there is opportunities for others to join our committee as we roll into the spring months. Highly encourage that. We try and have representation from each part of the community. The only part of the community currently that we don't have representation is Colville Street. And so if there are people that live there that have interest in the committee, we clearly would be interested in having you reach out to Dawn Wood and let her know that you have some interest, and then we can proceed ahead and have you attend one of our meetings so you can see it up close and personal and decide if it's something you really want to engage in. Second item, as a committee, we continue to monitor the performance of the landscape vendor. Basically, we do that through weekly walks of the community. We do that in concert with Dawn Wood. And then once a month, the local leadership of the landscape vendor join us in the walk so that they too can see up close and personal sort of what we're seeing. We will soon, probably in February, maybe around the middle of February, we'll be rebarking of the homes and the public spaces in Division 1. Division 2 will happen basically at the same time in 2022. The methodology that we have in place is sort of an alternating year approach to rebarking. And so that's the plan that we have in place. And as I said, you should see some rebarking happening in February. Trimming of the entrance meadow, there's been a lot of discussion over this past year and lots of input from the community. And through that input, the decisions have been made by our committee and recommended to the board and given their approval to have the entrance meadow basically mowed twice a year, spring and fall. Now that said, there's also a buffer area in about 15 feet along the sidewalk and along the trails and along the fence line that will continue to be mowed seasonally as they mow all of our yards in the community. Monarch, we know that there's been some concern about trimming of people's plants in their front yards. And so they've taken it upon themselves through input from us to recognize that there's probably some additional training that they need to do of their on-site personnel. And so they're undertaking that and will continue to follow through on that through all of 2021. Yeah, last item, we'll continue to post to the Ovation portal, basically the weekly work report that's generated by the vendor so that you can see the work that was done in the week just completed and the anticipated work going forward. And we also, for weed spraying, and for other appropriate notices, Dawn sends out email blasts, as people probably are aware of, to let you know days in advance, as an example, if weed spraying is going to be done, so that you can know that that's happening. If you have pets, that you can monitor your walking, etc. So I think that's all I have. If there are any questions, feel free to ask.
Right, well, I guess that's it. No questions. So we'll move on. Oh, we'll move on to the Pavilion Committee. Bill's there somewhere.
Yeah. Do you want the communication committee or pavilion?
Pavilion first, please.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, communication. Sorry.
They always skip communications, which is probably okay because I don't think I have anything much to say. So it's been kind of quiet. Do the newsletter, a few emails, Facebook page. A lot of good jokes on there these days.
Yeah.
That's good.
And if anybody is interested in the community and joining this community and joining the communications committee, that's a lot of C's. Probably when we get going again without COVID, we'll be looking for some new members, I would imagine, when there's more to do.
That's good.
Otherwise, drink your 46 bourbon.
Okay, it's happy hour at the Pavilion.
Yeah.
Or you can get the Gladstone. It's like sucking water through a swamp. It's pretty peaty.
Or I have like gym juice.
Good day for a drink.
Yeah.
All right, what you got for us, Bill?
Let's see. While the pavilion has been closed, Dawn has been keeping up on the maintenance and repairs to the building. And she just sent out an email just to catch everyone up. Cleaners have cleaned the inside and outside of the pavilion in December. The windows were clean in December. The handyman was at the property. He was hanging new clings on the doors for information regarding the social distancing and such. Also, we have a light out on one of the heater switches. It's not a big deal, it's just the light, but he has looked at that as well. Sunset Air will be out to do their quarterly checks, update on the HVAC. And Dawn is going to be going around with the landscape committee tomorrow, taking a look at the property here. And we did save the one tree out front, it looks like. And Monarch is ready should we need ice melt spread around the pavilion and mailboxes for freezing temps. And she thinks she has enough ice melt in the shed that if we need to use it, and any homeowner can come on over and lay it on down. I'm generally right next door, so it's easy for me to go ahead and do that. As far as the new members, we are continuing our orientation, or they are, for the responsibilities as members of the committee. And currently we're working with Don regarding the portal. That's the calendar, the forms, the reservations. And at our next meeting, we're going to go over the how-tos. That is how you operate like the shades, the fireplace, the fire pit, the heaters, so on and so forth. And we're doing this so that owners can, or they can assist the owners if it's requested. We're also going to be going over the post-event inspection sheet, so we get caught up on that. We'll do some role playing, checking one another as far as how you go about doing a post-event. I don't think we're going to get to that next month, maybe the month after. However, if the pavilion should suddenly get the go-ahead to reopen, we can rapidly complete our orientation in pretty short order. And so that's just to let you know that we will be ready when the pavilion opens, however long that might take. And open for questions. Good. Joy.
All right. Well, and then we have Michael Grant asked to speak today about the emergency preparedness group. So he is here. So I'll let you go ahead, Mike.
Thank you, Jennifer. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm pleased to provide a summary of the progress made by the preparedness groups in 2020 and previews and plans for 2021. For those unfamiliar with our program, there is an introduction included with these remarks that have been posted to the document section on the portal. We began 2020 with a series of neighborhood block meetings to introduce the Map Your Neighborhood program. We had to suspend those, but we successfully completed online the creation of working blocks in all occupied areas of the community and appointing 16 block captains. In addition to these, there are 10 members of the Community Emergency Response Team, which is a group trained by the Lacey Fire Department. A coordinating committee was created in June. This is not an official HOA committee, but we thank the board for their support of our goals. The block captains provided their own mobile radios, and we completed training in their use and the operation protocols. The emergency services use their own network channels, and it's necessary to communicate with them by joining a ham radio network. With another significant resident donation, Ovation now has a ham radio and licensed operator and has become a recognized member of the Thurston County Amateur Radio Emergency Service. In October, we held an earthquake drill. We have joined the National Shakeout organization and will continue to participate in this annual event. Thank you for your cooperation and involvement in this year. For 2021, we're planning for various threat types, earthquake, which we have been involved with up to now, also oil train accidents. We're reminded of that recently with the event in Whatcom County. And then wildfire, we were reminded of that in Bonnie Lake last year, and wind and ice storms. We'll continue to develop our organization and response training. The distribution of news and safety tips to the individual block captains will continue, and we urge that you support their efforts to compile lists of skills and equipment that you could provide in an emergency. We anticipate holding a disaster preparedness expo when appropriate to do so, and will provide more details at a later date. The block captains will be happy to answer your questions and concerns, and it would be helpful if you could ensure that their emails are not diverted to a junk folder. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you for your leadership. It's been awesome this last year.
All right, I gotta unmute myself. Dawn, it looks like you're up next with the manager's report.
Yes. So I just want to give some updates on the annual calendar and other updates. Thank you, Bill, for talking about the vendors for the pavilion. We did have the cleaning service. They did an inside clean and a patio clean in December. The window cleaner cleaned in December, and the HVAC contract service is scheduled to be out tomorrow. I'm meeting them there tomorrow before my landscape walk. The HOA landscaper Monarch has geared up for winter with ice melt services for mailbox areas and the pavilion. The irrigation was turned off, of course, in October until spring. We do post updates weekly under the portal under announcements. And if there's any spraying for weeds, we will e-blast that out as well. And as Bill mentioned, there is ice melt in the pavilion garbage closet for any homeowner who wants to put out around the pavilion as needed. We do, when the temperatures get slick and dicey, we do have Monarch come and do that, as well as the mailbox areas. But I like to have some on hand as well. And I just bought a huge bucket, so there's plenty in there for now. The Pavilion Committee works with me to assure that we always have enough. And then as a reminder, the updated annual 2020 annual calendar is on the portal under documents. The Oak Tree 2021 budget is posted on the portal under documents. And then just an announcement, we had our first new homeowner orientation in September of 2020. It went great. And we're going to be having our next one on March the 1st. And I put the Zoom information on the portal calendar under March 1st for that orientation. I did finish up with the age verification project for 2020, and I will continue to collect information from brand new homeowners for the age verification. And then as a reminder, please do not hang anything on fences or curtains, install railings, change out exterior lighting, hang satellite dishes, install fire pits, landscape any areas without first placing the application for the ACC. And if you have any questions or need any assistance, I'm always happy to assist with that. There's also a reminder that the HOA responsibilities versus non-HOA responsibilities are posted on the Oak Tree portal under documents, annual disclosures, and a reminder that HOA management is not the same as warranty. So there's been some confusion with that. Thurston County completed its traffic report in late October and deemed at that time there wasn't enough speeding to warrant action. This was posted to the portal under announcements in October 2020. And of course, we will continue to work with them should we have other incidents arise. And finally, the Oak Tree arborist treated trees in the preserve and removed some of the dead trees that we had from some of the storms that we've experienced. And those were removed in November and December, and the tree fertilization was done in December of 2020. Portal updates, there are 204 registered members on file. And in the year 2020, we had 200 ACC requests. Thank you so much, ACC committee and board, for those considerations.
Great, thanks, Dawn.
Yeah.
All right, so the new business section. So I know this is a hot topic for everyone. So percentage of home ownership to be on the board. So once again, that's 25% sold home community. That means it's 204 homes closed. Currently, we're at 185 closed. We are still constructing and closing on our same schedule of approximately 4 to 5 homes a month. So what we have right now pending puts us to adding a homeowner to the declarant board at 25% in the midsummer of 2021. So we're tracking that, but that's pretty much our schedule, what we're looking at right now. So 185 closed currently, working our way to 204. And Dawn and I have already been talking about getting ourselves set up for that process and election. So we'll definitely have some more information coming soon about people who might be interested in joining the board and what that process will look like. So, and as Bill mentioned, the pavilion is still closed. And we actually did kind of have a very casual conversation with the pavilion committee last Friday in preparation for the meeting. And we kind of just took a quick temperature of how people felt about the pavilion still being closed. And I think a lot of people are still okay with it being closed. Our legal consult is still recommending that we, a legal consult meaning an HOA Homeowners Association conference that happens every Wednesday that we association managers, like Dawn attends very regularly. I pop in occasionally. They give out a lot of, suggestions, not legal advice, but suggestions on what HOAs should do for things like amenities. And pretty much the guidance that we've been getting all along is if you don't have someone there 24/7 monitoring sanitation, that you should probably not have a facility open. And that was once again reiterated last Friday. So we're going to keep monitoring that. We would love to get it open as soon as possible, but we want to make sure everyone stays healthy and stays safe. So more to come on that, obviously, for all of us in the next coming months. And then that takes us to two topics, revised updated pavilion rules and regulations and updated general oak tree HOA rules and regulations. Dawn will send out an e-blast. There's just some minor revisions to both documents, a little bit of formatting, but they will go into effect February 1st, but she'll send them out in an e-blast. She'll send them out where they're at on the portal, so everyone will have access to get the revised rules, and then those will sit for a while before we make another revision. So we'll keep working on that. And then Karen and I have talked about this quite a bit with Dawn and amongst ourselves as the board. HOA responsibilities. I think a lot of the conversations that we have with Dawn kind of, the HOA becomes sort of an all-purpose bucket on all sorts of issues. And as Dawn mentioned, a lot of homeowners are still confusing the HOA with warranty and are calling the Nova Association after hours number for actual warranty issues, and kind of really expecting Dawn to call them after hours or someone to, when it's really not an HOA responsibility, and we encourage them to call warranty. But she actually gets people who are pretty angry at her and they kind of yell at her and whatnot. So we're just going to keep reiterating as we have new homeowners that join us that the HOA is not warranty. And then if you have any issues with your home, you do need to contact Taylor Morrison, either their after hours number if it's after hours or the main office number, and ask for warranty. It's really important because I think they're expecting her to do everything. And I think it's per the contract. If Dawn is needed after hours for a true HOA emergency, not a problem. But for these non-emergent, non-HOA issues, it's actually a charge to the association for after hours services. So we want to be mindful of that and make sure that we're truly contacting after hours for truly, emergency situations, like say the pavilion has an issue, there's a geyser in the landscaping. So I'm really saying this for those that are not attending right now and that may watch this later as well. So keep that in mind. Let's see. And I also, to piggyback on Cheryl's ACC presentation, we're starting to see an uptick in applications. And I know that they're going to be working on some examples of great applications versus not so good applications. Please be mindful that if Dawn reaches out to you for supplemental information, try not to take it personally. She's asking because the committee's requesting information or a board member is asking for information. We just want to make sure we process your applications as diligently as possible. We're noticing that I think people are getting a little I guess, bent out of shape, so to speak, about her asking for additional information. So please don't get upset. We're just doing it. It's actually to help you and protect you, so we fully understand what we're approving and we understand exactly what you're asking to do. So it stays in your file. So it's actually for your benefit. So keep that in mind. Karen, am I missing anything? Did I miss?
I think you hit it all.
Okay, just making sure. And as Cheryl mentioned also, which is on our new business, is the Oak Tree Standardizations tab has an update or two on there. They actually added something as a standardization, which is like a window film. So please check that out. If you're thinking of doing a project, check out our standardizations tab first. So hopefully that'll give you some guidelines on what you should do. And let's see, our Taylor Morrison update, kind of already mentioned a little bit of it. We're still on track. We're still with our construction. As you noticed, it's ramped back up again. We're still at 5 homes a month, constructing and delivering. Plan has not changed, but we're moving definitely smoothly and heading towards that magic number around 300. So steadily creeping up there. So everything's status quo almost. We're getting there, at least with construction. Did I miss anything? I think I'm good. Okay.
You're good.
I think that's all I have. So I guess that leaves it open to anyone. Oh, thank you. It's almost easier to see everyone. that leaves it open to anyone who may have a question or comment. This is the homeowner forum portion of the meeting.
If you guys want to chat, I don't see anything in the chat right now, but if you want to chat that over,
Yeah, that'll work.
I can read your question. And please keep in mind, if you, like I always do, remember when I'm just going to bed, something important that I wanted to ask, you can always email me and I will get an answer for you for your question.
Well, people are still thinking and haven't muted themselves. I'll just say our next meeting is in April. Looks like on our agenda, April 28th. So definitely more to come. We'll be starting spring startup at that time. So there'll definitely be some more excitement going on in the community with the spring startup with the irrigation and landscape maintenance and whatnot. So looking forward to that.
Hey, Dawn and Jennifer, it's Craig.
Hey, Craig.
Is there any sense whether additional site work might be done this spring or summer? You know, bringing in big graders, et cetera, to do some additional site work?
That I'm not aware of.
Okay.
I
asked the question only at the rate that they're building out houses. As they get through the summer and into early fall, they're going to run out of lots to build on.
Probably. I don't know if there's any like major, I know the next division doesn't have a lot of like common area development. It's a lot of homes with small common area pocket areas. So that's why I'm not sure.
Well, and I say it only from the standpoint of, you know, I'm guessing that they need to move some additional earth and put in roads and sidewalks and all that stuff before they would begin to build any houses. And so that's more a question around the infrastructure work versus any building of houses.
I haven't seen final plans for the next division yet, so.
Okay, just a question of curiosity.
And just to be clear, the next division is Division 3, correct?
Correct.
Is that when you say the magic number 300, is that Division 3?
It's part of Division 3. I think you hit 300 somewhere in that division.
I think that's right.
Yeah.
So I guess that dovetails into the perennial question. What is the current projection then for breaking ground on the villages?
I do not know that yet.
Well, do we know when there's going to be an updated projection on that?
We're actually currently working on that.
It still stands, it still stands at 300 homes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so that's the magic of the 300 number. Thank you for clarifying. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, Don, I know it's kind of a minor point. Do people know that there's an app now for
Oh, yeah.
Yes, there is an app for your community portal. And actually on the YouTube, if you go to the training videos on the portal and look at those training videos, I made one for how to download the app. But if you need any extra help, I'm always happy to either Zoom with you or when I'm on site on a Thursday to show you how to do it. It just makes it super easy to be able to look at announcements in the calendar and e-blast and everything right from your phone.
Nice.
When do you think they're going to make an effort to modernize the portal to something more of this century?
We are always.
It is, I think, the reason why the residents hesitate to use the portal robustly is because it is, and you guys have heard this perennially, so this is not a pile on, but I mean, you guys would be doing yourselves a favor as well if the interface in the portal could just be updated. When I saw there was an app, I got super excited and then got unexcited.
So we don't have, we are working closely with that software company. We have a group within our company that does work with them and their list of priorities and what they're working on, updates and things like that. I don't have exact timing on an overall interface update, but hopefully we'll have an update on that in the future. Maybe in the next few months, at least an update on timing. Again, we've requested more visibility on kind of their timelines on things like that. So yes, I know it's we've gotten that feedback, and so that's something that's important to us. And so hopefully we'll be able to provide an update on that soon.
Thank you, Christina.
Yeah, but again, any specific, I know general, interface is one, but if there's any other comments in terms of usability, let us know, and we can always be getting that on the list, because some of the smaller things can be done quicker. So definitely submit those.
If there's specific, just to kind of piggyback off of what Christina said, if there's specific things like when I go into documents, this is happening and it's wonky, or when I look at the calendar, this is happening, this is wonky. Keep in mind, we're talking to IT people at UManage, so it's helpful if we have kind of a description. I can do screenshots, and they're usually really fast with working with us to get those things worked out.
Another question for you, Don. I understand that like Jubilee and Shea have opened up their community centers. And do you want to explain why we haven't and they have?
Well, as the board mentioned, we do, I know I do, every week go to a law, condo, and homeowner association forum with 3 attorneys that speak to what is the legalities, and the majority of the talks is about COVID. And so, we've had a lot of changes with the governor having changes in phase 1, phase 2, and we're starting it's like we're kind of starting all over again in 2020. And their recommendation is, if you have a person who's like, if you go to your fitness center, there's a person who's assigned 500 square feet, and there's a person that comes in and works out, and they can work out for 45 minutes, and you got to take their temperature, and you have to make sure everything's sanitized before and after, and then go to the next, and it's on an appointment-based system. And so they recommended not reopening unless we had somebody that was specifically appointed to our fitness center, until the governor changes and we start seeing some changes in restrictions lifting a little bit. And so, mind you, I've had many conversations, the board and I have discussed this often, and we've been brainstorming on ways to handle this.
Yeah, so basically the community would have to hire somebody to manage the pavilion on site as far as the gym. And I would love to get back to the gym, but I realize it's.
Well, I did ask
Right.
at one of the meetings, I asked, well, if I'm the manager and I'm in the building, is that okay? And they said, no, it would have to be a person that's in the gym, that's assigned to the gym.
Yeah.
That's the problem, that if somebody were to come in with COVID, for instance, and there wasn't a person that was sitting right there taking their temperature, making sure that, they were in and out and everything was clean and sanitized, that could be a liability.
Yeah, I agree.
Me too.
Yep. Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Well, if there are no other questions, remember, you can always email Dawn if you have like a random thought in the middle of the night, or I always have a lot of car thoughts, things I always remember in the car, driving home or driving to work. You can always email and she'll get an answer for you. But if no one else has any other questions, we'll go ahead and formally adjourn at 4:40 p.m. Yeah, and that's it. It's Wednesday.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Good to see you
Thank
all.
you.
Thanks, everyone.
Have a good night.